Well, good morning and welcome to Saturday morning, the 16th of October. We're continuing our walk through the Sermon on the Mount, living the Sermon on the Mount. And today we're on to Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Another one of the Beatitudes. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Matthew 5:7. Our author of today's thoughts is Charles E. Moore. In Jesus' day, the Roman world was merciless to the slave and the child. Slaves were property, tools to be exploited, and could be flogged, branded, and tortured. Unwanted children would be exposed, quote unquote, exposed, simply thrown out like refuse. The modern world isn't much better. One need only recall Stalin's purges or Hitler's final solution or the genocide in Rwanda. But even our everyday world can be harsh. Whether it is the vitriol spewed out on social media and talk radio, or our obsession with litigation, our lives are riddled with judgment, suspicion, and blame. Screw up? Watch out. Someone will take advantage of you or at least try to get even. Justice, maybe. Mercy, hardly ever. Yet each of us needs mercy from time to time, and all of us are grateful when we receive it. In fact, all of us rely on an intricate fabric of mercy. This is why Jesus says, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy." Mercy begets mercy, and the result is blessedness. In the Bible, God not only delights in mercy, but mercy belongs to his very nature. Micah 7:18. Nothing is greater than mercy, not even sacrifice. Hosea 6:6. Jesus himself is God's mercy. No wonder Jesus places mercy above sacred institutions and traditions. But what exactly is mercy? The word's root in Hebrew refers to the womb. To have mercy is to have the feeling for another person that a mother has for her children. Mercy assumes a sense of solidarity with and responsibility for those in need. It involves a feeling, but is more than a feeling. It is, as William Barclay says, quote, the ability to get right inside the other person's skin until we can see things with his eyes, think things with his mind, and feel feelings with his feelings, unquote. Mercy suffers with the sufferer. It demands investment. It demands involvement. Mercy moves us to see the person, not just his problem. The person before me is homeless or addicted or untrustworthy and manipulative. I can readily see his poverty, his shame, but mercy moves me to experience his pain and anguish, his loneliness and fear, his sense of worthlessness. Through all this, I see his deepest longing, his hope of being and making good. I see him as I try to see myself. Showing mercy is one thing. Being merciful is another. Being merciful is not just doing kind deeds. Mercy assumes a certain posture. The merciful know what it means to need mercy. That's why they can't help but respond to the guilt and suffering of others. They, like Jesus, are moved with compassion toward all those who have lost the way. They take upon themselves the distress, humiliation, need, and sin of others. They have a heart for the poor, the hurting, the lonely, and those whose lives are in one way or another a wreck. Instead of judging by appearances, they assume the best and the worst, being patient towards those who lash out because they don't know how to assuage their pain. They understand that there are reasons why people act out as they do. They welcome the prodigal son home despite his sin and despite the wreckage he has caused others, for they too have been welcomed. In his book, The Name of God is Mercy, Pope Francis tells of a time when a younger Capuchin priest came to him in Buenos Aires and told him, quote, "I always have so many people at the confessional, people of all walks of life, some humble and some less humble, but many priests too. I forgive a lot, and sometimes I have doubts. I wonder if I have forgiven too much," unquote. Francis asked him what he did when he had those doubts. The priest replied, quote, "I go to our chapel and stand in front of the tabernacle and say to Jesus, 'Lord, forgive me if I have forgiven too much. But you're the one who gave me the bad example,'" unquote. That's good. None of us can get or show mercy enough. Without mercy, our righteousness is in danger of becoming hard, judgmental, impatient, legalistic, quick to anger. Yes, Jesus calls blessed those who hunger and thirst to do God's will, but only if they have big hearts toward those who don't. Why else, other than mercy, did the adulterous woman cleanse Jesus' feet with her tears? She loved much because she was forgiven much. John, an old friend of mine, saved from drugs, has been befriending homeless people for almost 40 years. Some may ask, is it worth it? What difference does it really make? The more important question is, what difference does it make when we stop bestowing mercy? For when we ignore the needs of others, we lose our capacity for sharing and spreading happiness and remain under the illusion that happiness has no reference beyond ourselves. We forget what a comfort it can be when we share in the suffering of others. That comfort is something John has received himself countless times. When he sets out on foot, his friends on the street reach out to him, eager to spend their last buck to get him a cup of coffee. John experiences a fullness that many people less touched by human suffering never know. Blessed indeed are the merciful. Till you walk a mile in another person's shoes, right? Let's learn to appreciate the mercy we've received and to be merciful to others.